Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. So today I have some pretty good news to go over here. I tend to be really hard on the FTC. Admittedly, I'm a little bit salty because I spent over $60,000 providing them with all the resources that they needed to move forward with right to repair after Biden issued an executive order trying to get the FTC to make rules on right to repair. And to this day, in the good old words of Thomas Sowell, I patiently await their reply. However, they do good from time to time, and it's important to go over it. This one is one that is near and dear to my heart because one of my first employees was an employee that I stole from a company that had a non-compete agreement. And I just kind of hoped that they wouldn't care or that it would not be enforceable because the particular non-compete that they had said he couldn't be hired for the same job. So when I put him on payroll, I put him on payroll as a janitor rather than as a technician to try and get around this bullshit non-compete. I think non-competes suck, which is not a particularly popular opinion among employers. You can see that employers are usually the ones that want non-competes. Employees tend to be the ones that don't, because a non-compete means if I make $30 an hour and somebody else offers me $40, I cannot take the $40 because I signed this bullshit non-compete. And when you put out, when you apply to 300 jobs and one of them gets back to you and 0 give you a job after the interview, and then you finally find something 2 months later, you tend to be the type of person that will just say, fine, fuck it, I really like living indoors, I like being able to eat food, so I will sign this stupid non-compete so that I can make $30 an hour rather than 0. The problem here is that obviously keeps wages down. And what they're doing over here is, you could see, very popular. So it says that of the over 26,000 comments, 25,000 were in favor, which gives you an idea, again, of the amount of people that are in favor of this versus against it. And again, typically there are less employers and companies than there are people in the general population. So I would imagine that the people that are against it, it's hard for me to imagine an employee saying, this is really, really bad. If somebody else offers me more money, I want to not have the right to take it. And for me as an employer, I actually think non-competes are garbage. The reason is that in my company, one of the ways that I hire, I don't go on Craigslist, I don't go on Indeed, I don't put up help wanted signs. What I like to do is find people that are unappreciated at their existing companies. If I hire some random person from Craigslist, I don't really know what I'm getting. It's like going on Tinder. Whereas when I hire somebody that I know because they work at a company that I've done business with or a company that I've sold parts to, I kind of have an idea of what I'm getting. It's kind of like a friend of a friend or like a trusted recommendation thing rather than Tinder. Do not use Tinder. It is fucking awful. It is an excellent way to find a shit relationship, and I wouldn't even say a good bang. What you want to do is you want to kind of have an idea of what you're getting yourself into, because when you don't have an idea of what you're getting yourself into, as I've learned the hard way over the past year and a half, is you might wind up torturing yourself. So what you want to do in both your personal life and in business is know what you're getting into. And one of the ways that I do that when I would sell parts back in the day is I would kind of get to see at the company, okay, this company is filled with lazy employees that don't do shit. At this company, everybody's lazy, but this one dude is carrying everybody and doing good work. And I would kind of talk back and forth with him, like, what do you get paid? This is back like 12, 13 years ago. And he said like $15 an hour. And I don't get vacation days, and I have to do overtime, which is sometimes not paid. So I had a conversation with him, and I said, how about you get 2 weeks of paid vacation a year, unlimited sick days, trusted on the honor system, and $28 an hour. Back, again, this is like 13 years ago, $28 an hour, actually bed septic back then, if you were like an entry to mid-level technician. And he was very happy. Now, he was very happy because he got more money. I was very happy because I did not have to train somebody from scratch. I already had somebody. Not only did I have to train him from scratch, but I knew that if I needed to train him to do new things over time, since he was so good at learning all these things already, I knew that that person would then be good at doing something new. In my opinion, non-competes benefit good employers at the expense of bad employers. If somebody wants to outbid me and steal one of my employees, I've told every single person here, like if somebody offers you more money and a better working environment, I will punch you in the face if you don't take it. That, like, again, I want my employees to actually be happy. And if I'm not able to make them happy, then I want them to be able to be happy somewhere else. But also, admittedly, the system, if you're going to have a capitalist system, I believe that having non-competes is kind of bullshit because it takes away that ability for people to compete. If you have a shitty company that has shitty practices and shitty policies and treats people poorly, not having non-competes means that you now have an incentive structure to run your company better, to treat your employees better, to, dare I say it, even be more competitive. So if I need to make more money in order to retain you because I no longer have the chains of a non-compete shackled around you, what that means is that I actually have to up my game. So if I've gotten lazy as a business owner and not doing what I'm supposed to do, I need to live with the fear that the shop down the street is going to offer my employee 30% more money than I'm paying him in order to stay motivated. That's one of the things that's going to keep me motivated. So A, not having non-competes is going to lead to me being more motivated to make more money because I will need to make more money to pay my employees what is necessary for them to not be stolen. B, It encourages employers to treat people properly, because if you don't treat people properly, they will leave and go somewhere else. And C, admittedly, kind of selfish for me, I like having the ability to steal people that I know are good. And I don't feel bad about it. If you're getting $15 an hour and your boss is telling you your overtime is unpaid because he guilts you into believing you should have worked faster while you're on the clock, so now you're not getting paid afterwards, and no vacation time, I'm not going to feel guilty if I'm almost doubling your salary. That man was able to provide better for his family. He was able to move into a different place. His life was better as a result of the fact that he got to spend more time with his infant and see his infant turn into a toddler because he wasn't staying to do this fuck-ass unpaid overtime all the time. So I think that this is good all around, and the people that are complaining about this, I'm not going to say that they're employers. I'm going to say that they're the bad employers. The bad employers that are afraid of losing people. If you have to put shackles on your wife to ensure that she can never leave you, there might be a chance that you're not the greatest guy. That's what I think of this. I genuinely believe that non-competes are shit. They are good for the bad employers, bad for the good employers. They are bad for capitalism because capitalism is about competition, and shackles make it really hard to compete. And above all, it's good for the employees because the employees get the benefits of getting more pay and also working in work environments that are actually competing to treat them well rather than like shit. And again, I know what the libertarian take on this can often be, which is like, again, the respect to the law of contracts. If you don't like it, just go to another place that doesn't have that non-compete. And again, it's one of these things where very similar to all of this bullshit on forced arbitration. If I even want internet where I live, I'm essentially stuck with forced arbitration. Like the anarcho-capitalist take on this tends to be like, make your own ISP, make your own this, that, or the other. And when it comes to regulation, I tend to be a big fan of freedom, but simultaneously legislation like this, I think, makes everybody more free. So even though it is technically a law, it is a law that is essentially removing the use of force from many individuals. You are no longer using force to make this employee stay here. The idea that the employee or the employer are in trouble with the law as a result of hiring somebody or promoting somebody, in my idea, is just insane. So a law like this or a rule like this that actually increases the net freedom of everybody, I'm for. It's taking away the freedom of somebody to take away your freedom. So it's one of those things where, even from a libertarian perspective, I am usually for laws that take away the freedom of somebody else to take away your freedom. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, whether you're an employer or an employee, what you think. In the early days, my company was actually this, I used to joke and call it like this band of broken toys of all the people that did not fit in at the company that they worked at that I stole from. Even Paul, I think he was working at this mechanic shop and back in the day. Paul S., he's an absolutely amazing dude, great person. I wasn't able to take him with me to Texas because he had family in New Jersey, which is very unfortunate for me because he was one of the best people that I ever had here. He worked at a place that I asked him what he was getting paid, and it was fucking trash. Even off the bat, before I knew him, I was able to triple his salary immediately because what he was getting paid was garbage. And as a result of that, I was able to mentor somebody that essentially became way better than me at my actual job. My customers benefit because now I can offer them repairs I couldn't offer before. He benefits because now, again, after he started his job here, he purchased a home because now that he has a higher salary, he felt the security that he was actually able to purchase a home. And admittedly, there was more security before New York State started fucking with me for a year on end and I left, but that's a topic for another video. I've done about 50 of them on that already. And for the other employer, there's a higher likelihood of his employees being treated better because that employer now has an incentive structure to treat people better because he realizes if he doesn't treat his employees better, they will leave. And the amount of money that it costs to retrain somebody who is as talented and exceptional as Paul is going to cost far more money than the amount of money that he could have given Paul for him to stay at his job. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.